All right, here is Coach Steve Fisher from San Diego State. Good morning, Coach.
Gentlemen, how we doing?
Coach, we're doing great. Yourself?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
All right. Coach, last week, were there any of your colleagues at the NBA draft? I was so impressed that there you were sitting at Kawhi Leonard's table, and every time somebody else got drafted, I didn't see Coach Krzyzewski around. I didn't see the other guy. Were you the only guy there?
No, there were several people there. Calipari was there for Kansas. Bill Self for Kentucky. Self was there from Kansas. Sean Miller was there from Arizona. So there were several of us that came.
Any interaction between you and Coach Self, considering the article that came out about a week ago, Coach?
Not a lot. Ironically, we sat side by side at the tables, so we were right next to one another.
And yet, can we talk about that yet, or is that not something you can discuss yet?
We're legally able to talk about it. I don't know that I care to, get in a war of words, but we are allowed to talk about it now.
Well, I just would say this then. My comment is somebody there, in my opinion, did something very dirty behind our collective San Diego State Aztec backs. That's my opinion, okay. Coach.
Well, that's a pretty good point.
Okay. Well,
nailed it. Got
right.
that.
Well, Coach, let's talk about Kawhi. First of all, what was it like sitting there knowing that there had been these predictions, 6, 7, 8, maybe 9, but then all of a sudden he's still on the board, 10, 11, 12. What was it like for you guys?
There was an uneasy nervousness. Kawhi kind of did what Kawhi does. He just became stoic and didn't say anything, and his uncle was there with his mom, and he tried to, make sure that you knew that there was life after the 10th pick. So he was good at it, and I knew, having experienced it before, that you can never tell for certain. And when all the foreign players started to pop up on the board early, then you say, well, there's an opportunity or a possibility that Kawhi may not go as high as we hoped that he would down the stretch. When he came out, I think realistically he thought 15 to 25 was where the slot he would fall into.
And Coach, did you offer any advice as it looked like he was going to start slipping? I mean, was it just settle down, it's going to be cool, everything's okay, you're good?
I tried not to say too much, but after the 10th pick, I said, you're going to be close. We're going to be in the next few. And we're going to make all of them that drafted somebody ahead of you wish that they could recast their vote a year from now.
Yeah, I wonder what it's like to be in your position, Coach, where, you sat down with Kawhi and the family and, you said, look, based on what I'm hearing, this is where he's likely to be drafted, so it makes all the sense in the world now to maybe to leave, as much as we'd like to have him stay. And then all of a sudden it goes down to 15. Do you feel like responsible or geez, maybe I gave him bad advice? I mean, do you feel that way or no?
No. I know in life, and you guys do too, that nothing's guaranteed and there are no certainties. So we talked about here are ranges. Here are things that could happen. We talked about the impending, what now seems to be an imminent lockout about to happen, what that might mean, and all of those things. So Kawhi and his family went in with their eyes wide open. They did not make a quick, rash decision. They made a family decision that they felt was something that they wanted to do. And I said, I think that this is a choice that you can say this is a good decision.
I'm talking to Steve Fisher, the head coach at San Diego State. Coach, I felt bad for Kawhi because he became this year's guy, right? I mean, he's sitting there at the draft, and picks are going over and over and over again, and he's not picked. But ultimately, he did get picked. And going from Indiana, where he was picked, and traded to San Antonio, you tell us. I mean, it seems like that's a great place for him, a terrific organization for a personality and a game like Kawhi's.
I think so. So often when you get picked, we're talking like 15 is
right, like it's bad.
It's an awful thing to have happen.
Right.
Oh, that's terrible.
I think we should be doing backflips for the fact that Kawhi has picked 15.
Yeah.
And that's the mood that I wanted to make sure that that he got in. It wasn't as high as he thought after all the talk and all the workouts and what people were saying. They had him probably going on as high as 6th and no lower than 10th, but that part didn't happen. When he went 15th, that's still an awfully high pick, which usually means you're going to play for a team that's mediocre at best. Well, Kawhi gets an opportunity to play for one of the premier organizations, maybe the premier organization in the NBA, one that won 61 games, I think, last year, and an organization that will win. They have a history of really, really shrewd drafting and developing players. They are so excited about Kawhi, and Kawhi is equally excited about the opportunity to be a part of the San Antonio Spurs. I think it's going to be a great fit for both.
It was a little funny, too, Coach, only because of the changing horse in midstream, going from the Pacers, and I'm sure there was, oh, man, you're going to be great as a Pacer, it'll be fantastic, and then, oh, you know what, Spurs are even better. You're going to be a great Spur. It'll be fantastic.
In that instance, we knew, his agent knew there was dialogue prior to Kawhi being picked. Right as Kawhi's being picked, his agent became aware that pick had been already traded. They had already done the deal. So Kawhi knew when he got the hat that he was going to go with San Antonio.
Gotcha.
Wow. Talking to Steve Fisher this morning about Kawhi Leonard being drafted last week. Coach, I was talking to Mike May, your PR man there, and I was saying, this is such a great thing for San Diego State, and it's so important, I think, I'm curious about your opinion on this, that he stay visible locally, because that's good for San Diego State basketball. And I was suggesting that, this is the first guy to be drafted since the mid-'80s in Cage and everything else. We ought to get like Kawhi and Marshall Faulk. Marshall's like the most visible San Diego State football alum, and he's got all his foundation work. We got to keep Kawhi visible in San Diego for the good of San Diego State basketball. Any talk with Kawhi about staying apart or at least close to the family?
I think that's a great point. Kawhi has loved his experience at San Diego State. He loves being around his former teammates now and the program. And so happens he is still in San Antonio. He's coming back tomorrow, Wednesday, which is his birthday. And he's coming to San Diego, and he's going to look for an apartment. He wants to stay here while all the lockout stuff gets settled, and if it doesn't get settled right away, I believe what he would like to do is be able to work out locally. So that would allow him, at least for the temporary, to remain visible. I think your point of staying engaged and involved in this community and this university, and specifically our basketball program, would be great for both sides. Marshall, when he left, was probably not as visible, was nowhere near as visible as he is now that he's retired. I think that if we can get Kawhi to understand the value of it for both sides, it would be fantastic. But he is coming back tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, and having his press conference here, and that's awesome. Coach, I felt so bad, though, for Malcolm, because I was following the draft. It's the first time I've been interested in the NBA draft in, ages. And I was hoping Malcolm was going to get drafted in the second round, and then he didn't, and he started sending out some tweets about how he had disappointed San Diego, and he let his people down. I was thinking to myself, Malcolm, you didn't let anybody down. It's a great opportunity for Malcolm Thomas to find the best fit for him. What's going to happen?
You know what? You're exactly right. I talked to Malcolm on draft day. He was at the mall, very excited with his mother and sister, and was bitterly disappointed when he didn't get drafted. When, again, not unlike Kawhi, Malcolm was told by a lot of people, hey, you're going to be drafted in the second round, someplace in that second round, and it didn't happen. So the disappointment was there. He wore it on his sleeve, but like Malcolm has always done, he got up the next day, dusted himself off, and say, okay, now what? And what you said is true. Now you say, okay, let's make it a positive. Now we can choose who we think would best fit our needs and opportunities. So Malcolm, as we speak, is in Atlanta. Went down to a mini camp in Atlanta, and we will find out in the next day or so what they think of him. He will have, I believe, multiple opportunities overseas to play. So he will have some decisions to make, and he need to turn it into a positive. He's a terrific young man and an outstanding basketball player also.
Hey, Coach, we got to hustle, but real quick, I just want to ask you, Billy and DJ, I mean, this is, again, we're going to love this team and remember this team forever in San Diego, but will those guys get an opportunity to play pro ball maybe in Europe or maybe in the NBA's developmental league?
They will, without question. Both of them will be playing someplace, and I think playing quite well someplace next year.
All right. Any word on Carwell? I got so much I still want to talk about. I got to go. I got to hurry up.
In the infinite wisdom of the NCAA, his petition got moved to another committee, so we are still in limbo, purgatory, as we Catholics say.
Yeah. And what about the other kid, the kid who came from St. John's, Po Lee? Any eligibility?
Po Lee is coming down today with his family. Going to look for housing, and he's going to come to the second session of summer school. He and J.J. O'Brien both will be attending the second session of summer school, so we're very excited to get them on campus.
Yeah, but will he possibly be eligible to play this year?
Well, that petition is in the infancy stages, and we probably won't know that resolution until the start of school.
All right. See, got so much to talk to Coach Fisher about. I mean, all the time. I mean, I'm telling you. But here's
this guy.
But Coach, here's the beauty of it. The beauty of it is we're still talking Aztec hoops now.
Exactly.
First time, I think, ever, Coach.
I like that, too.
Yep.
I do like that. We do have a team that 10 years from now, 15 years from now, I do believe a lot of people will still be referring to the team of 2010 and 11 that won 34 games. That was a monumental feat, and we're all very proud of it.
Yep, and guys getting a chance to play pro basketball. Coach,
Absolutely.
Great talking to you. Thank you so much for the time this morning. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
you guys, too, and I know you're running, but Scott, how is your daughter? I have not listened this morning or the last day or so.
Coach, we are so incredibly lucky that, A, this dog was this old lady grandma dog who didn't have all of her teeth, because if she did, she might have taken my daughter's eye or done some major permanent damage. We're also incredibly lucky that pediatric, cosmetic, ophthalmology surgeons exist in this world, and the best of them are at UCSD and right around the corner. So thankfully, making a recovery. And honestly, based on the cosmetic surgery, you'd never know what happened.
That's fantastic. Well, we're very happy, and I know you and your family are too.
Yes,
so that's
sir.
great.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much.
You bet. Thanks, guys.
All right.